I was a black girl in Portland, felt no tension, had a ball. But let me just say this. The thing about Portland is that I can have this, baby. Nobody else you. Nobody else makes me. Nobody else. Woo, child, we had a few technical difficulties, but we are here live and ready. I was finally able to go to Portland, Oregon. Yes, child, a black girl in Portland, Oregon. I have been wanting to go for literally years, and this is the story. So, first of all, I've been wanting to go to Portland, Oregon, but Bay and I had plans to go to Hawaii. So, as a compromise, because I've already been to Hawaii, but he hasn't, I was like, let's go to Portland on the way. So, we flew from DC area to Portland, then Portland to Honolulu, and then Honolulu back home. So I bought 3 one-way tickets for both of us. Now, I only wanted to go to Portland for the food. So we are here to talk about the food, baby, because that's all I did was eat. You hear that? That's all I did was eat. Okay. Now, of course, there are other things to do there, especially if you're an outdoorsy kind of girl. And I will have some options for you to do there as well. And there's a lot of distilleries. So I'll share some of that information as well. So, first and foremost, let's talk about the hotel. Baby, the hotel was so nice. We stayed at the Hyatt Centric downtown Portland. I like to stay at Centric hotels because they tend to be a bit more vibey, a little bit more modern. It gives me like millennial vibes. It's clean. They usually have a nice little setup. And also the toiletries are like always very nice. And I wanted to be right within walking distance of everything because when I travel, I like to walk everywhere. I'm not trying to hop in no Uber just to go a half a mile up the block, baby. I gotta walk, okay? I'm trying to walk so I can explore and see what's going on. Now, what I will say is that one of the benefits of us doing those three-way things and then being loyal to certain hotels and certain airline carriers is that we were able to use points. So I used points to pay for our 3-day Portland visit, and then I used points to pay for our flight from Portland to Honolulu. So basically, our Portland trip was almost free, you know, as much as free can be when you've accumulated points because you spent money. So, anyway, the Hyatt Centric Hotel is perfect because one of the places that we wanted to visit, but we didn't get to go, was the Whiskey Library. I am telling y'all, the Whiskey Library is legit a library dedicated to whiskey. From the website, it gives me like speakeasy vibes, and it's just like a catalog of whiskey, and then they'll make you a cocktail based off of that whiskey, or you could just drink it straight up. But the thing is that they have like passes to go. You don't just get to walk in there like an average bar. So if you want to go to the whiskey library, you need to get your pass about like 2 weeks in advance. And I failed to do that, so we ain't get to go. So the hotel is also within walking distance of one of the food cart pods. So in our area of DC, they call them food trucks, but most of them in Portland are more of a pod. So it's like a little restaurant that's stationary and it looks like it's supposed to be on wheels because like it's a trailer, but it's not on wheels because it's stationary in that area. And I like that because that makes it easier to track the food that you're trying to eat. You don't have to pull up the Instagram page of each individual restaurant that you want to go to and figure out what street, block, and city that they're going to be on. So if you're a food truck girly, then you'll probably like Portland, Oregon because the food carts aren't moving. They just stay where they're put. Portland has something called the food cart pod. So it's like a little outdoor area where you're going to see multiple food carts. So they're going to be like lined up, and then they're going to have like the tables and all of that. There might be heating lamps. So that's the first place that we went the night that we got there so we can explore a little bit. So I got my notes here, so you'll see me looking down a little bit so I can refresh my memory. Now, something to be mindful of when it comes to Portland is that drugs, as of when we went, are currently decriminalized in Portland. So that means that you're going to see people who are under the influence of, it seems like they were mainly under the influence of opioids. Um, so you're going to see those people walking down the street, and not just walking down the street. I mean, on the very first night when we were walking, there was a man walking with his pants completely down. I'm talking white cheeks out, just out. So if you are adverse to that, then maybe Portland isn't for you right now. But if you've been to New Orleans, tomato, tomato, New Orleans is going to give you under the influence of alcohol plus mental health mixed in. Portland is just going to give you drugs. Okay. So if you feel uncomfortable with that, that's just something to be mindful of, because they're out about and everywhere. And it just seems to be the normal way of life for people there, since drugs are currently decriminalized there. What I will share is like every single place that we went, and then I will share all of the stops from our food tour, and then I'll insert the clips for you to just view everything for yourself. We're gonna start with savory. Let's try the biscuit by itself first. Ooh, it's soft. That's a good biscuit now. Remember, I had really good biscuits in Seattle. That one was amazing. It was from this place called Biscuit, B-word. And then I had another good biscuit in Nashville, and that one had like fried chicken plus sausage gravy on top. I wish it was a little hotter, but the sausage is slightly sweet. And they put like a local cheese on this. It's called Tillamook or something like that. Just a good quality biscuit. It's like homemade. I'm a fan. Let's try the cinnamon roll. Let me take a picture of this real quick. They ain't give me no utensils. So now I can already tell this is like biscuit texture. Dripping in sauce. I like this one better than the one that I had in Nashville. The one that I had in Nashville had like icing on it, or maybe the icing came on the side. Plus it had like nuts, and it was way too sweet. This is good. Now back to this biscuit. I'm gonna finish this, and I'm gonna go back in the gym, because I was in the gym walking on the treadmill waiting for my food to come. Tomorrow is our food tour, so that's gonna be perfect. And tomorrow's our last full day, so we only have 2 full days here. And then next stop, Hawaii. So one of the places that we went when we were walking around was Powell's bookstore. So I found out ahead of time that Powell's bookstore is the largest used and new bookstore in, I think it's the world. Might be the US, but I'm pretty sure it's the world. That bookstore spans multiple blocks and is multiple levels. Like the levels all have their own color. The floors have to be color coded. And I'm telling you, we were in there for, I think, an hour to an hour and a half. And I was only in like the mental health psychology section. That store is huge, but you will find any and everything that you need in there. And then I saw people who were just sitting and reading. Very cute little bookstore. Like if you are a nerd, you will have a field day in there. I bought 2 books out of there that are like growth oriented psychology mindset books I'm very excited to read. And that's kind of become my thing, going into bookstores when we travel. We found a cute little bookstore in New Orleans as well, and I bought a book out of there. So maybe that'll be my new thing going forward, is the food and a bookstore. So then we went to Pine Street Market. Right, coming up on Pine Street Market. It's basically a small food hall. Wanted to come here. They got a lot of Asian food plus, and door dining, baby. It's cold. Because, baby, it was cold. It was cold in Portland. I actually believe that it was colder in Portland than it was back home here in DC. So we went like the first week of March. So FYI, it will still be very cold there. And I was like, I need somewhere where I could eat indoors. Okay. So we found a food hall, and they have a bunch of Asian restaurants in there. And y'all, when I tell you, I had the best ramen that I have ever had in my life. I'm dreaming about it right now, and now I am on a mission to find ramen that is that good here. I have never had ramen that good. I'm telling you, the broth had so much flavor. The color looks amazing. For sure. Oh, so much fun. That ramen was so good. I ordered it on Uber Eats, I think 2 days later, the day before we flew out. My God, that ramen was so good. So if you go to Pine Street Market, you want to get the ramen from Matsunoki Ramen. Matsunoki Ramen. And then we got some cream cheese wontons from another place inside that market. And the cream cheese wontons were very good. If you're a cream cheese wonton kind of girl, like crab ragoon, and they put a significant amount of the imitation crab in there. A lot of people just skimp, and they give you a little cream cheese, they give you a little chive, but it ain't too much imitation crab in there. These people weren't playing, and I saw them actually making the wontons in the back, and I said, oh yeah, this is legit. Where you don't want to go is where my husband got his food from, because that lady was mean. So Pine Street Market is a food hall that you will definitely want to visit. Now let's move on to our food tour. Okay, this is where the action begins to happen. So anytime we do a food tour, you get like your time where you're supposed to meet your food travel guide person. They give you your time and then the meeting location. So we met her at like this statue in the middle of what appeared to be like the like courthouse area. And there was almost like an amphitheater where people were like sitting and stuff. It was Starbucks over there, a bunch of like food carts. It was very cute. And it just so happened to be where one of my places was located that I wanted to eat at. So it was a food cart called Fried Egg I'm in Love. Want to bite? This is real good. Real good. There's some good sourdough, and they buttered the bread. That was too good. Almost like a grilled cheese. It was like kind of tangy. It must be the sauce they have up there, but that might be top breakfast sandwich. That sandwich was so good. That sandwich was so good. Another one of my things when I travel is finding a restaurant that has amazing biscuit sandwiches. Now, this sandwich in Portland was not a biscuit sandwich. It was on sourdough bread, but we just don't have to add that within the ranks. It was absolutely phenomenal. Like, I couldn't get enough of it. So on the food tour, they actually had that food cart built into the food tour. So I was like, that's cool. Like, I may have already eaten here, but I'll get something else. My first sandwich that I ordered was better than the sandwich that we were provided on the food tour, though. But regardless, absolutely amazing. So next spot was this place called Deschutes Brewery, Portland Public House. Now listen, baby, I don't really mess with like brewery pubs or nothing like that because it very much so gives "you're not allowed here." But that one didn't. Maybe because it's Portland. Why did one of the ladies on the food tour say that Portland has more Black Lives Matter signs than they do Black people? And I'm telling you, that is so true. Portland is very open. They don't seem to mind the Black folks. They don't seem to mind the people who are under the influence of drugs. They don't seem to mind the homeless people. They definitely don't mind the LGBTQIA population. Okay, baby. Portland, I like the vibe of it. It's very open, and I love people who are just open and loving. So at this brewery, they had an amazing pretzel with an amazing like cheese dip. The pretzel almost tasted like a bagel to me because bagels have like that kind of light, almost like water based taste in the bread. I really can't describe it, like fresh homemade bagels. And this pretzel gave me that vibe where it's just like a clean taste. It wasn't overwhelming, but then you dip it into that cheese. Very, very good. So next stop was this place that I think is very well known on Food Network, and it was a Thai restaurant. It's called Nang's Khao Man Gai, and that rice and chicken plate. Lately, I have been loving my Asian rice bowls and my Asian noodle bowls. Obviously, because the ramen was so good, and that plate was delicious. It was the sauce that came with it. It was like a acidic fish sauce with a little bit of heat in it, maybe a little bit of sugar in it.
We're gonna, I don't know, do all this stuff, and then we all went out to this next one.
Actually, it's got a little bit of a kick.
That's great.
The broth is really, it's got some flavor.
Kind of reminds me of pho a little bit.
Yeah, not too much, but with the sauce too, because it's slightly sweet.
Pour this over it.
There's this girl who I follow on TikTok who's Cambodian, and she makes something called her crack sauce, and it just gives me like that kind of vibe. That rice and chicken plate, absolutely amazing. And the employees there were like so friendly that they gave us a Thai iced tea. Not my judge, but husband liked it, so I let him have mine. And also that restaurant, even if you don't go as part of a food tour, you should go not just because the food is delicious, but the owner actually employs her people and gives them health insurance. So she treats her people very well. Next stop on the food tour was another ramen place. And we ordered a ramen that was soupless. And that ramen was really good. So the place was called Afuri Ramen and Dumpling. Now, listen, that ramen did not compare to the first place, but the ramen was amazing. So maybe Portland, not maybe, Portland does have like a lot of little Asian places. I like Portland not just because they have the food cart pods and the food carts, and apparently they have like 600 plus food carts, but I like them because they also have a good variety of different cuisines. And I like to eat food from every single culture. So that was like perfect for me to go and visit. Next stop, I mean, you got to go to Voodoo Donut. Voodoo Donut is very well known out in Portland. The reviews on Yelp, not that great. Now, the food tour guide said that she believes that the reviews aren't that great because it gets hyped up and then people eat the donut and they're like, okay, like, I don't get it. And my donut was good. I took a bite out of it, or like, I think I peeled off a piece and I was like, I'm over it. Like, because I just didn't want any more food. So I just gave it to a homeless person that we saw. So next out was this place called Stumptown Coffee Roasters. And that coffee shop was so cute. Like, it was so cute and quaint. Like, I could definitely see myself going in there and working for a bit. And what's so crazy is that when you go in, they say, baby, oat milk is the standard here. and we do not charge extra for plant-based milk. I said, okay, hippie town. Like, it was very much so giving hippie. We're trying to live a long life. So like, we don't even have cow's milk up in here. We don't drink that. It's oat milk or bust, baby. So I really like that. And my latte was delicious. So I went ahead and finished that. Then there was this place called the Spice and Tea Exchange. Now, granted, I've been to the location in Florida when I went to go visit my mom. So it's not like it's only in Portland, but if you go and you're really into like different spices and different flavors of teas, then you definitely want to go to the Spice and Tea Exchange. It's within walking distance. Like everywhere that we went, we walked. We did not take a Uber at all while we were in Portland, only to and from the airport. Okay. So the Spice and Tea Exchange was perfect. They allow you to sample like the sugars and all that. You can smell the teas, like they're super unique. Just be prepared to spend your coin. Now, when it comes to things to do, some of the things that you can do, like I definitely wanted to do this, especially if it were warmer, would be the Portland aerial tram. And it sounds just like what it is. You ride in the air on a little tram, like a little cart in the sky. And apparently it's only 4 minutes, but it gives you like a beautiful view of Portland. And I would really like to do that. And then if it were warmer, because I'm in my hiking era right now, I would really want to go to the Washington Park so I could hike a little bit. And then we didn't get to go to Distillery Row. And if you're into drinking, again, Portland will be perfect for you because they have a lot of distilleries and they have a lot of microbreweries. And they have a little wine valley out there. So you could go to Willamette Valley Wine and do like a tour. So just book you a little wine and sight tour. And then you could do that. Like that would be perfect in the springtime or like early summer. Definitely got to get myself back to Portland. And then I want to do an Oregon coast tour because I don't just want to stay like within the city, but I want to see Oregon and all of the beauty, the nature, and then like the wild animals from a distance. You know what I mean? So that's all that I have for Portland. I hope that you go. I was a Black girl in Portland, felt no tension, had a ball. But let me just say this, the thing about Portland is now, remember I said that there is like a population of homeless people. There's a population of drug users who are also homeless. And then Portland is also very hippie. Sometimes you're going to see people and you're going to look at them like, are you homeless or are you a hipster? Because the way that they dress is very, very different. And sometimes we could not tell if the person was homeless or if they were just a little eccentric. So that's all that I have for you all. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Until next time, bye.